Today at Papa's Farm, we're planting spinach. Yum, yum. When anything new enters into the routine of the greenhouse, there's always some experimenting to be done. So we just tweaked both systems. So what I've got done now is some of the spinach I started earlier in the NFT system. Some of the spinach I let sit longer in the germination system. So I'm just going to look at the effects that it had on both sets of spinach and see if there's any differences, any increases or decreases in growth. This spinach is among the spinach that I'm transplanting into the system. So this is what some of the spinach that's been sitting in the germination station G2 for a while look like. Noticing some twisty leaves, which is a sign that the plant is trying to escape the light. So the light in the germination station runs 24 hours. Some of the spinach is trying to avoid that light. Okay, so this is a single one. Weak to medium root growth. And this spinach has been sitting in the NFT system for about a week already. Medium to good root development. Hardly any twist to them, except for the new nodes that are coming in there. They got a little bit of twisting, but I'm noticing a little bit of buildup on the Oasis cube compared to what was on the other one. Very little surface algae like there was on this one. I'm actually going to spray these off on the top, or just wipe off the top before I go ahead and put it back in. And I just broke him off, so let's see if he super crops. Another one that was just transplanted. One root for 2 plants, one small root, so that's a weak root development, I call that. And we have a batch that's been in here for a while now. You can see, let's see what we got here. Okay, yep. Alright, so the spinach itself likes to be in the NFT system more than it likes to be in the germination station, I believe. It's still, at a first take, I believe that the spinach is doing better in the NFT system than it is in the germination station. But that's not the case for the turnip greens, and I'll try and show you guys that next. What I'm seeing, the difference in the turnip greens is they actually like the G2 better than the NFT system. I put some turnip greens in there about a week ago, and overall they've been growing for about 8-9 days. So these ones haven't been in the system for 3 or 4 extra days compared to how long the other turnip greens are in the system. So we'll compare them now when I transplant. Now we're gonna compare the turnip greens that have been in the NFT system for a bit longer than the turnip greens that have been in the G2 for a bit longer, and see what they look like in difference. This turnip green has been in the system for about NFT system for about 4 days longer than the other turnip greens that I have. We have medium to good root growth. Not a whole lot of activity in regards to the second set of leaves. Still on its feeder leaves. Got 1 or 2. And then we move up to, this is what just came out of G2. It's a little tangly. It's going to be fun to unwind. But I'm finding that its second set of leaves in the G2 are coming out a little more prominent than what they are in the NFT system. So this is where I was thinking that the turnip greens actually may benefit more from being in the G2 than from simply being in the NFT system. So the root system's down here. Okay. Got a lot of good growth. I'm thinking that they look a little better right now. Big thing I'm noticing though is the amount of algae surface algae buildup on the top of the Oasis cubes. So what I'll do is I'll clean those off before I put them into my system, so that I don't transfer algae into my NFT system, because the less of that, the better. A shot of the spinach that I just drank, turnip greens. These are the turnip greens that were already in the system for about 3 to 4 days longer than the ones in the G2. The final verdict is that the turnip greens are liking the G2 system a lot more than the NFT system. The only problem is I have the little bit of surface algae on the tops of the Oasis cubes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the lights on the back on a timer to try and reduce the amount of light that they're getting and reduce the amount of water going in, because algae is because of nutrients, water, and sunlight. So you got to reduce some of those things in order to reduce the amount of algae. So I'm going to try and cut back on 2 of those things and see what the difference is. So there's still some experimenting to do with the G2. And with the spinach, from what I understand, just the first time doing these transplants, these experiments, is that the spinach prefers the NFT system over the G2 system. I do have some spinach left in the G2 system because I'd like to keep experimenting and see what the difference is in another 5 or 6 days down the road. And we'll keep you guys posted as much as we can. Continue to follow along and like what you see.